This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2021 Flagstaff Super Lite fifth wheel. And the model number is 529BH, as in bunkhouse. So I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work. This is not a sales video or a floor plan video. It's just a how-to video, okay? So, first of all, we have rear electric stabilizers on this one. Right there, you can see one switch controls both rear. Alright, now on your pull-out cooktop, 2-burner cooktop, it has to be plugged in. The LP has to be plugged in. So you can see you get this hose, that's a quick connect fitting female and a quick connect male. Okay, so it would plug into this, and then it plugs in, let's see, right down there you can see the yellow cap on it. That's a quick connect for that one. Now this also comes with a griddle. I'll show you that right up here. So you get this griddle with it, and then a plastic utility table also. Okay, so that will hang right here, and again you have to plug it into the LP system, and that's right there, the quick connect. Okay, all right. You have a TV hookup, signal, power, and bracket. Outside speakers. Now this here is a vent for the range hood. So anytime you're venting the range hood and you want to vent to the outside, you got to make sure you reach up to those tabs and push up on them to open the baffle up so the baffle flaps freely. That's important, or it won't vent to the outside. Other times when you're in storage or traveling, whatever, you want it shut. But if you want to vent to the outside, you got to open that baffle. Okay. Of course, cranks. This is a two 30-pound LP tanks. You also have two 27 series deep cycle marine batteries. Okay, they're wired together at 12 volts, so you just have double the storage capacity. And of course, this switch is for your front landing gear. One switch for both landing gear, of course. Docking light. This is just these are vents for the battery. This is just in case you wanted to purchase a. This one's made by Go Power. If you wanted to purchase their solar panel kit, you could plug it in here and it charges the batteries. Okay. The other LP tank back here, we're still washing and cleaning this, so it's dirty, of course, but it'll be clean by the time you pick it up. Also, while we're in here, that's your dump hose, of course. This is a water filter canister. It comes with a wrench right here and a filter. So the filter only lasts one season, so after you de-winterize in the spring, then you would put the filter in there. You'd use it all season, and before you winterize in the fall, you take it out and throw it out. Okay? Still cleaning here. Like I said, here you got a sprayer here. That plugs in right here. Plus there's another port in the back. I believe it's in the back. Okay, this is your water dock. You hook your fresh water up to here, you're all set. For city water, you have to put the 4 valves into this configuration here. Right? If you're going to a campground where there's no power or no water on the campsite, so-called dry camping, you'd fill your fresh water tank here by putting them in this position here. Then when you got to the campground, you put them in this position to pump out water, right? So, and here's actually the switch for the water pump. There's also another switch inside. So you have winterize, sanitize, you have configuration for every feature, everything this can do, so keep that in mind. Also, this is a black tank flush here, so after you dump your black tank, you can leave the valve open. It's important you leave the valve open. Put the hose on there to the dump station, turn it on, it'll spray out your black tank, clean it out, clean off the sensors, that sort of thing. Okay, these are your main dump valves here. You've got one gray tank, and then which is bathroom, sink, and shower. You got a black valve for the black tank, which is toilet water and waste, and then you have one more gray tank, which is called a galley tank. It's for your kitchen sink, and that's back here, right here. Okay. Fresh water drain for your, in case you're done with the fresh water, you still have a half a tank, you could always just dump it out. This is a second way to get water into your fresh water tank. You can also fill it right there. Okay. Now you've got a 50 amp system, so you got a 50 amp 30 foot cord, power cord plus reducers. You have a ladder, which is great because you can inspect the roof They state you should. The manufacturer states you should inspect it every 90 days. So you need somebody to go up there, look at the sealant, cracking, separation, that sort of thing. Make sure there's no damage to roof attachments or roofing material by low branches, things like that. Okay. That housing tells us is pre-wired for a backup camera. There's a second sprayer port. Okay. All right. So let's go inside. You also have a power awning with a LED strip, of course. Excuse me. Okay, so. Oh, it's nice and warm in here. Okay, so this is your control panel right here. So, it's like any other control panel. You got lighting here. You got your 2 slide rooms here. Right? Then you have your power awning here. Never leave the awning out unattended, of course. Always roll it in when you're not going to be there. You have your water heater here. You can turn it on electric here, gas here. Let me walk back outside. I think I walked right past the water heater and didn't go over it. Yep, I sure did. Okay, let's go back out. So, this is your water heater. Keep in mind there's a switch right here. Lower left hand corner, it's a rocker switch. That controls the electric heating element that's behind this cover here. So keep that in mind. Never, right now the water heater is empty and in bypass mode. Never run it without water in it, ever. Okay? So keep in mind there's a switch here. There's also another one inside, but this one is just for the electric heating element that's behind this cover. You've got your anode rod slash drain plug that takes an 1 1/16 socket that screws right into there. Okay. Now back to the panel. Okay. All right. So here is the second switch for the electric water heater. Right. If you want to light the water heater on gas, you do that. To run the water pump, you do this. You use that to pump water out of the fresh water tank, also for winterizing. And of course you've got tank heaters on this one, so to turn your heating pads on, you do that to extend your season. And this Wi-Fi is the Wi-Fi Ranger. The Wi-Fi Ranger is up on the roof, and it's a signal booster for public Wi-Fi. So if you look at this sticker right here, it's a little sticker, but it's got important information on it. So when you're looking in you and your family's phones and tablets, whatever device they've got, you'll go into the Wi-Fi section and you'll find Tenton 5642. Okay, that's the name of your Wi-Fi Ranger. So you make up passwords so all your devices hook up to it automatically, right? Then in a browser, you go to this address here, the bottom address. That'll take you to the page for your Wi-Fi Ranger. You enter it by using this temporary password called Change Me Now 5642. And you can come up with your own password, of course. But when you're on that page, you'll be able to see everything the Wi-Fi Ranger sees. So, for example, you would pick out the campground Wi-Fi, put in the passcode they gave you, and you're all set. It really boosts the signal really well. It's just a much better internet experience. So I strongly recommend it. There's also another feature that's a pay feature that has to do with cellular service. You could have cellular service on it, but something you'd have to pay a monthly fee for. If you're ever interested in that, you can talk to the Wi-Fi Ranger people and see what you have to do. But generally speaking, most people just use this free public Wi-Fi extender, and the only people who will really, I can't speak for everybody obviously, but people who work from their trailer, like tradesmen who travel around, boiler makers, whatever. If you're a traveling nurse, then you might have it because you work from your table here, and you need good connection. Things like that. A salesman who travels a lot. So for most people, the free Wi-Fi thing's good enough. Also, there's an app for this here, and you can see there's the information for it right there. All right. Okay, so let's go this way. It's to the bathroom. The sink and the shower work like any other sink and shower. Right here and here. That goes into gray tank number 1. Of course, the toilet goes into black tank. The thing to know about this is a little different. This is a water circulator. What it does is, while the water's heating up for your shower, it will basically, it'll just run it around in a loop between here and the water heater and the water pump. It'll just go around and around and around. Or not, if you're on city water, you won't use the water pump. So just keep in mind it makes a loop. The idea is, first of all, you're not going to waste water while you're heating this up, because if you do it the normal way, it'll just go right down the drain and you'll waste storage in your gray tank. Also, a lot of places out in the country, in the wilderness, they have issues with drought issues, especially out west, so you don't want to just waste good water heating it up. So therefore, like I said, it travels in a loop, the same water around and around again while it heats up. To do that, you want it in this position here. Alright, so then this will start to change color, this plastic piece. This one, I believe, will turn beige. You'll see it, it'll be a dramatic color change. And when you see that dramatic color change, you know that the water's hot then, and you go into normal position. And that way you're not wasting any water heating it up, and you're not wasting any storage space, okay? That's the water miser, shower miser. So keep in mind that any of these things that you want to learn more about, you can look in your packet. Also, you can go to the manufacturer's site and look at their videos, because they've got some good use videos too. So keep that in mind, okay? You've got a fan here. It's a really nice one, and it's got a remote right here. Okay. Always run the fan with the shower, because you want to pull the humidity out. It's a very these Flagstaffs are very tightly made trailers, so they're very efficient. But you want to vent any kind of mold out, or any kind of moisture out, so you don't create mold or mildew, that sort of thing. Also, for example, if you got a bunch of people over one night and you're sitting around inside, and it's the time of year where you start to get condensation from your breath, for example, you can turn this on low. It'll pull all that out. You'll never have an issue. So that's important. The toilet, I'm sure you know about RV toilets. That's the flush pedal. You have to have a dose of chemical and about a gallon of water in the black tank directly below. So you put the chemical in, you step on the pedal, water will come swirling out because it's hooked up to the water. It'll go right into the black tank, and when you get about a gallon or so in there and the chemical, you're ready to use it. You can't use it dry, because if you do, the smell will be terrible, and also it can get clogged up, okay? Alright. Let me look a little bit here, see where we're at. Alright, so there are two GFCIs in this trailer. This one right here, and then there's one up by the kitchen sink. All the plugs in this trailer and outside the trailer are wired through one of these two GFCIs. So if you're using a coffee pot outside and it pops, you're going to reset it in here. Okay? Alright. So, you got a wardrobe slide here. Obviously there's storage underneath the bed. Over here on the ceiling, you can see you got hookups for a TV, plus you got a backer plate on the wall to put that bracket on there. This particular trailer has two air conditioners. You got the one in the bedroom, and then you got the other one in the main living area, which is a great thing when you're traveling in the south, especially in the summer, or the southwest. It makes a big difference. Okay. That's all controlled by this thermostat here. I'm not going to go through into much detail. It works like all of them do. You go through the different systems and then the different modes. And of course, before that, you pick the zone. Zone 1 is out here in this room. I think Zone 2 is in the bedroom. But right now we've got it on gas heat. If I was to continue to push the button, it will go to fan, which is just the air conditioner running without the compressor. It just circulates air. Then it'll go to cool, which is obviously air conditioning. Anytime they give you an option of fan speeds, low, high, or auto, always choose auto, because it's always the best way to go. Okay? That fan, the paddle fan up there, the switch is right there. Okay. Alright, so the back cushions come off this. Come on. And this folds out into a hide-a-bed, which is neat. This table drops down onto these cleats here. You see there's 5 of them, black cleats. You never want to travel with this in the up position. It's always got to be down, sitting on the cleats when you travel. It's a heavy table. You don't want it to bounce around and break a window or dent something. So you always put it down. To do that, I'm not going to set it all the way down. I'll just explain it to you. You're going to take this lever with the yellow dot on it. You'll push it to the right. You'll hear it click. Then you just collapse the table at the hinges, and it'll drop right down onto these these cleats, and there's Velcro pads on there, so it'll stay put. It also can be used as a bed, another bed, if you need to. Okay. So your refrigerator is a gas absorption refrigerator. Gas absorption, basically it'll run on 110 AC. It'll also run on LP gas. So this is on and off here, of course. We're on auto right now. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's auto. Auto is where you're going to be most of the time. Auto means auto electric. So when you put on auto, it runs on 110 AC. The reason it's called auto, because if you have a power failure, it'll sense that and it'll automatically switch to gas so it doesn't spoil your food. So it'll automatically switch to gas if you lose AC power, which is a good feature. So that's where you're going to have it mostly. You can dedicate it to 110 AC. You can dedicate it to LP gas if you want, but auto's generally going to be the way you use it. Also, this device here, this plastic clip here with you see the wire going in there, and there's like a cylinder right here. This cylinder is actually the thermistor, right? That white clip is just that. It's a clip that holds it in place. If you look at the sticker here, it says the higher you go with it, the cooler it gets, lower, warmer. So you're going to have it up all the way almost always, which I've got right now. So keep in mind that if there's something not working with your refrigerator, you're going to look to make sure that's still clipped where it's supposed to be and it's up as high as it goes. That's how you set the temperature. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have it up all the way. Once you start getting cooler outside, that sort of thing, you can back it off a bit if you need to, but generally speaking, it's going to be up all the way. Okay, so your bunk area, everything's self-explanatory in here. You know, you do have TV hookups and a backer. Okay. Now, this device here is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. So you see it's green. It should always be green. If not, you get it serviced. If it beeps the same tone that it does for LP gas or carbon monoxide, but very slowly, it's telling you your battery's low. So let me put it through the paces for you. LP is good. Carbon monoxide coming up. Good. And now low battery alert. And then back to green. It should always be green. If not, get it serviced. Okay? If it goes off for carbon monoxide or LP gas, you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off at the front, and figure out what's going on. Okay? Excellent. And this is the other GFCI I told you about. There's 2 of them in this trailer. Your fan vent, which I told you about the baffle outside, how you want to always open the baffle. I hope I told you that. If I didn't briefly, there's a vent on the outside of the trailer, and there's a plastic baffle that runs across the face of it. You always want to reach up and push up on the tabs so it flaps freely if you're venting to the outside. Other times when you're traveling or in storage, you want it shut. So I think I mentioned that to you. I just want to make sure. So always open that baffle when you're running the fan. Light. Okay. Your range works like pretty much all of them do. Always keep the glass cover closed when you're traveling. Let me see if he's worked any gas through this yet. Yes. So there you go. 3 burners, 3 knobs. This is the sparker. You turn it clockwise. This is the oven knob. Now the oven, all the way to the back at the bottom is a pilot light. You can see me sparking it back there. Okay, so what you do is you go to the knob, you go to the picture of the pilot light, then you depress it. You keep it depressed during the lighting procedure. Then you're going to start sparking it until it lights, the pilot light down here lights. After it lights, you hold it in for another 10 or 15 seconds or so to heat it up. Then you go to operating temperature, and it'll cycle on and off as an oven does. But when you shut it off, the flame goes out, of course, but so does the pilot light. So you want to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. It has to be relit each time. Microwave works like any other microwave, as you can see. Okay, there's one thing I might have walked past already that I'll look in the bedroom for. There's the power converter here, and I seem to have walked right past it somewhere. Let me look. Well, it's getting pretty bad when I lose a major component here. Oh, it's okay. It's right behind the door here. Okay, so you can see it behind the door. You have to swing the door shut. Yeah, let me do that. Excuse me one sec with my camera work. I know it's bad to begin with, but here you have it right here. So what this does, it converts AC to DC power. You can't see very well because the back's in the way, but on this side you got regular circuit breakers like you'd see at home, and they're all labeled. That's 110 AC. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on the other side. You see you've got regular 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled. Also, while this is plugged in, this is a battery tender, so it's going to see how much energy your batteries need, and it'll always keep them charged up as long as you're plugged in. Okay? It's the power converter, which is also a battery tender. Okay? So, let me see here. We're getting close to the end here. TV works like any other TV. This one has a swing out bracket that locks into place. You can see at the top here, see the green LED? There's a little button next to it. That's the signal booster for the digital antenna. You always want it to be green when you're using the antenna or you won't get a good picture. Okay? Here, I don't know where you put the remotes. Everything has a remote. Oh, here we are. This is the Fireplace Remote. This one here is your sound remote, and there's your TV remote. So the Fireplace runs on 110 AC. You can change the flame, the color of the flame. Here, let me. First of all, you got on and off, right? Then you can do this. You can make the flame dimmer. Get back up there. You can see, you can set the temperature. You can also set the fan speed from low to high. It also has a timer on it, so if you wanted to set it to turn on, 20 minutes before you get up in the morning to take the chill out of this room, it'll do that. And not only that, it runs on AC power, so you're not going to be using any of your limited supply of LP gas when you're doing that, so it's really good to use it. Here, so you have a sound bar with a sound system here. This plays CDs and DVDs right there, of course. You have a USB, and you have an HDMI. The HDMI is an in. So if you need to go into the system with, let's say, a game machine or something, something like that. I know you shouldn't be playing game machines. You should be getting away from that when you're camping. But I use that for an illustration. You could plug that straight into here, and it'll go right into the system. Okay. Also, this has AM/FM radio. It has Bluetooth, so you can hook up wirelessly with your phone or tablet. It has 3 speaker zones. 1 is this room, 2 will be the bedroom, and 3 is outside. 3 is zone 3, Z3. So what that means is you can use this. You can have a separate source and a separate volume for the outside speakers. All you have to do is you'll set it normally. Let's say you're watching a disc in here, so it's set up and you're watching it. To go to zone 3, you would push Z3, and then you could set the FM radio, a certain station to play at a certain volume, separately of what's happening in here. So keep that in mind. Z3 is the outside speakers, and they can be controlled independently. Okay. So I think that covers it. AM/FM radio, all the clock, all the normal stuff that a radio would have. 3 speaker zones and Bluetooth, so you pretty much got it all. Okay. All right. So let me look around and see if I forgot anything. Let me shut this down. I think I pretty much got it. 2 sets of keys. This apparently is a key to like locks because it only has 2 keys, so you don't have to have a whole fistful of keys to open the compartments and everything. Okay. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit, and I want to remind you about the manufacturer states checking the roof and seals every 90 days. You want to do that for sure. People tend to not do that enough. Odds are you're just going to be inspecting it and never have to do anything, or won't have to do anything for a long, long time. That's why you're inspected, to make sure. You don't want to be caught off guard with a tear in the roof or something, So make sure you do that. And right now we're winterized. The water heater's empty and in bypass mode. Okay. Also, I'm not sure where he put the rest of the stuff. Maybe it's down here. It comes with a water filter. It's puzzling where he's got all the stuff. Usually we like to put it underneath there. Here it is here. Okay. So this is your water filter, spatula. This is the other half of the outdoor TV bracket, toilet paper holders, and this is a tire monitor. So you can set it up if you use it. It'll tell you the temperature of each one of your wheels, and it'll also tell you the pressure in them. This top piece here with the screen goes in your tow vehicle, and there's a sensor in each one of your wheels, on the wheel inside the tire, and it's directly across from the valve stem on the other side of the wheel. So you'll find that's where the sensor is for. So it also has that feature. Okay. All right. So thank you very much, and we'll talk to you more about the trailer when you come to pick it up. So we'll see you then. Thank you.